it. So let's get into Keith Lee. So Keith Lee went to DC. Mm-hmm. He went to my home, my hood.
He said that a lot of the restaurants that he went to, like, he barely is going to put up any reviews.
Mm-hmm. So basically, he went to DC. He didn't have the best time. I think he showed the mumbo sauce. Shout out to that. I appreciate you, going out and do that. But apparently he has a seafood allergy. So we are seafood based.
A lot of, Maryland, DC, like it's a lot of seafood. And a lot of the best food is seafood. So, because they're coastal. So
a lot of the problem he has is when they, are trying to save time and money, they may cook in the same grease and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And apparently I heard this from just reading about, folks with allergies.
Food allergies.
They can smell it.
Yeah. And I have a friend who has a very like severe shellfish allergy. Whenever we go out, like there has to be a whole rundown of like what is cooked in the kitchen, how is it cleaned, all of that, or else like it'll be a problem and it'll be a liability for the restaurant. So the waitress or the waiter will literally stand there and ask them a bunch of like it's a very serious matter.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, it's for real because like you don't even have to for the foods to physically touch. If you just use the knife on one and then that's all it would take.
You have to be very diligent to not kill somebody.
And then I think what the problem is with him is he purposely, because what I kept hearing what people were saying was like, oh, you went to places nobody even knows about, all this stuff. That's his MO though.
That's my thing. Keith Lee has, from the jump, when he started doing the food reviews, I started following Keith Lee when he was cooking for Ronnie while she was pregnant. Okay, before the food reviews. But when he started doing them, it was like he's going to places that nobody knows of, places that need help with business and traffic, and they might have really good food but really bad business. And he's just trying to help small mom and pop owned businesses gain more notoriety. So your favorite spot is not where he's gonna go to. Yeah. The spot that's filled that you can barely get a reservation to is not where he wants to go at all.
No. And I think my problem is with this, I think he should put out those videos.
He has.
I'm talking about the video. He's talking about the ones where he didn't like. I'm talking about for DC.
Okay. But for every single state before, DC is the first state since he's been doing this that he did not put out videos about the restaurants that he did not like. He did that in Atlanta. It was literally national news.
Oh, I remember that.
Yeah,
I remember that.
Right?
We talked about it.
I feel like Keith Lee has now decided to pivot again, and his brand is only positivity. It's only uplifting small restaurants that have good food. He's not giving constructive criticism to the restaurants that need it because people are out of their fucking minds. They would call the restaurants with death threats. Why are you doing that? You are fucking insane. Like, that's unhinged behavior. You see a food reviewer on the fucking internet not like the food, say the service was bad, and then you're like, okay, let me call the owner and threaten death?
I don't think Keith Lee's responsible for that.
He's not, but he's a person of like very high moral standing, so he felt responsible for that. So I think that's why he took the negative reviews completely out. He was getting so much backlash and like it was getting very weird.
I think that you should. That's part of the game.
It's
like,
part of food reviewing.
It's part of saying, and to me, it's also a part of if I'm being a business owner, I need to be critiqued.
But Keith Lee's brand was never about reviewing food. It was always about uplifting small businesses.
Then don't tell us at all that you had some that you didn't even go to there. Just don't even tell us. Like, don't say that you had a situation where, oh, I didn't like X, Y, and Z. Don't show us all the people who, I don't like half stepping.
I think it's because this is the first time that he announced that he was going to go to a state. He only reviewed a couple restaurants. It was much less than he usually does. People were asking like, did you try this place? Did you try this place? Did you try this place? And he was like, this time I'm only sharing what I enjoy with you guys, which is why you're getting less.
Yeah.
So people were asking him why there wasn't more, and he had to give an explanation.
You could just say, hey, like, I told you the ones I liked. That's all.
Yeah.
I feel like half stepping is the problem. My thing is this. Cool. I understand having a heart for these, business owners that are trying their best. But my nigga, you chose this art of being a business owner. And I don't feel like it should always be the criticism to the bottom, because I know that's an easy place to shoot at. I feel that. But at the same token, you need to be held to a level of accountability. Like, you are the one choosing to play capitalist.
Yeah.
These are, you play capitalist games, you get capitalist prizes. And part of it is this. Like, so if you are not giving good performances, somebody should expose that. No?
Yeah.
Like, how do we know bad things are happening if no one's willing to say bad things are happening?
You're right. It's just the internet, like there's no way for you, if you have a huge flat platform, there's no way for you to control what people are going to react, how people are going to react when you put out this information. So if you know that people are going to make this small business owner's life a living hell, then I do understand. I feel like I would probably do the same as Keith. I would probably just upload the things that I have positive opinions on, and I would shut the fuck up about everything else.
Or you could really make it into long form content, shit on them, work with him like the Chime Time nigga does sometimes, where he'll go back to the place after shitting on them and do a separate review. So that's what I'm saying. Like,
he's done that, but that content always, the second time around, always gets less views. I've been following him for a long time. But you, obviously, as journalists too, we know that like the retraction and the correction, it never gets as much traction as much as the mistake did or the negative thing did. So it really, I don't know. I do feel like he's moving in a correct manner. Like I like the way he's doing things. He probably felt, my thing is why I think he's doing this. He probably felt terrible when it came to the restaurants that he left negative reviews on. Like it probably morally took an effect on him emotionally. So he had to stop doing it.
I just feel like, bro, you kind of got to accept what comes with the game, man. Like, cause now anytime I hear you, I'm wondering, is it really legit now? Because you won't even tell me what's bad. If I can keep hearing what's good from you, how can I know and understand your palate be like? To me, I feel like that hurts his credibility because now I don't get an honest review of your palate. We talk about, people say, oh, we get on here and talk about shit we don't like. We talk about tons of shit we love and we like to talk about.
Yeah, that never gets as much traction about the shit we it never gets as much traction as the stuff that we don't like that we talk about.
And but it's a part of it too, in the same token where it's like we also have to be honest. Like nobody wants to come here and listen to us if we're not being honest.
Yeah.
If we're not giving
because
it up.
Your opinion does not mean anything if you're compromised and you're like
purchased.
Yeah, you're purchased.
And I think that was the thing about him.
That's never something we're gonna do.
And I think that's the thing about with him is it was very clear he wasn't purchased, but it was because we got both sides of it. If you didn't like it, you didn't like it. And as a business owner, step your shit up. Like
step your cookies up. But also Keith Lee has gone back to restaurants. But
to me, I feel like that shows that's more I know you say even though the retraction doesn't get the same amount of views.
Yeah, not even half as much.
That shows your character to me. Is that you're still doing it, not for the views, but because you want to create a story arc.
Which is why I still follow him from before he started doing this to now. Because if you have a fucking brain of any sort, you can tell that Keith Lee's character is unshakable. And he doesn't seem like someone who's going to lie about the food because of anything. Like, regardless of the fact that he's not putting out negative reviews, you know that the places that he suggests that he's like, oh, go here, then you're going to enjoy it. And then people also talk about his palate a lot. That he has a very basic palate, blah, blah, blah. Most of y'all have a fucking basic palate.
That's true.
Like, do you not want the opinion of like a regular everyday nigga versus whoever else?
I saw somewhere where Joe was calling him and said he wasn't a real food critic, not a professional.
Like, what the fuck? You don't give a fuck about what the fuck food critics have to say. Who do you follow that is an actual like Michelin rated food critic? And do you not go to JJ's? Do you not go to fucking Roscoe's? Do you not go to whoever the mom and pop spots that you go to? Because fucking Gordon Ramsay was like, oh,